Hello, everyone. He was called the new Arnold Schwarzenegger, personally paid tribute to him and predicted a great future. At one time, he became a fitness sensation, had good prospects as a competitive athlete and a social media star. He starred in films, played Arnold in his youth, and was the hero of documentary projects. But then there are injuries, scandals, addictions of repeated rehabilitation, new injuries and upheavals in life, repeated returns, and after that, a whirlpool of events. A couple of years ago, it would seem, the final step to his former self. But then there are new parties, unusual content for old fans, a change of locations, and a search for yourself. Calum von Moger and his story, the history of recognition, which has been going on for about 13 years, is extremely eventful and intermittent at times. At least because Calum deleted or hid the lion's share of his publications on social networks and on the YouTube channel when the next stage of his life came. And yet, what happened to Calum von Moger and where is he now? Let's try to figure it out together. I tried not to get lost in all the episodes of Calum's very intense biography. Calum, born in 1990, was born and raised in Australia, trained from about the age of 15 and was inspired by athletes of the golden era. First of all, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger, whom he was quite similar to, especially in his youth, due to which he became famous in the early stages. The first video of him went viral in 2013. But we must understand that at the start of Calum's career, social networks in their modern form had not even appeared or were at an early stage of development, so no chasing likes, views, or contracts. The motivation at that time was the thrill of training with iron and the dream of becoming the best on stage. The first tournament was held in 2010. The initial stage of his career was held under the auspices of the WFF Federation. In 2011, Calum became Mr. Universe Jr. In 2014, he won the full-fledged title of Mr. Universe and the pro card of his federation. In the next 2 years, 2 more Mr. Universe titles, that is 3 times champion. At that time, everyone already knows about Calum, and the topic of when he will move to the IFBB Pro League is constantly being heated. Where the competition is higher, where there are more stars, and where the Classic Physique division was presented for the first time at the Olympia in the 16th year. And Calum decided to start a new stage of his career. In 2016, he won the NPC Iron Games and made his debut in Classic Physique. It was an amateur tournament without getting a PRO card, but it was a precedent. At that time, he was at the top of the fitness industry. He is in demand, he is loved. Shoals, scandalous stories, and other ambiguous moments are all in the future. So far, everything is going as it should. Successful collaborations are coming one after another. If we go exactly according to the chronology of YouTube, there was a break of 7 years. A few years of silence? Of course not. Calum just deleted or hid a lot of videos during this period. At the end of 2017, she was filming a video with Chris Bumstead, who was not yet the Olympia champion but was simply gaining popularity. 2 young athletes who had the brilliant idea to arrange a joint bicep lift with a weight of 405 pounds. Well, actually, what could have gone wrong? Both risked equally. Calum was out of luck. Bicep separation, rehabilitation, a lot of recovery issues, but most importantly, a break from performances. But that was just the beginning. A few months later, Calum climbed the cliffs with a stitched bicep after rehabilitation. I wanted to go extreme, but I got a complete rupture of the quadriceps ligaments and a dislocated kneecap. As the hero of the video later recalled, it was a serious blow for him. The situation was snowballing. Earlier, he broke up with his girlfriend, after which his beloved dog died. Calum retreated into himself for a while, but one of the high-profile infopods was the movie with his participation bigger. As for his recovery, it was not easy. In 2020, von Moger still got in shape, returned to the stage, won the tournament, and won the ticket. In fact, Calum is back in good shape. He was expected to win the pro tournament and qualify for the Olympia. Finally, Bumstead and von Moger are on the same stage. Even if not as direct competitors, but the fact itself. The Classic Physique is only gaining momentum, just the perfect moment to come back. It's been 5 years. How many times has Calum performed on the pro scene since then? It's hard to judge from the outside. There was a story about fatherhood. In 2018, he had a brief relationship with a girl. The news of his future fatherhood took him by surprise, and he allegedly offered to do a paternity test and an abortion. But the girl decided to give birth, and the paternity was subsequently confirmed. Then both went to court. She wanted alimony, he wanted full custody, because he didn't want to have anything to do with the girl. But judging by Calum's fate, the court did not approve his request. There is a global pandemic in 2020. Countries have closed down, widespread restrictions have been imposed, society has been divided into supporters and opponents, masks, vaccinations, and so on. Surprisingly, Calum was also involved in a high-profile story on this topic. At that time, Arnold Schwarzenegger made a fiery speech which included the phrase, "To hell with your freedom," in the context of not having time to discuss freedom now. Something needs to be done about the situation and methods of struggle. But many subscribers, including some famous athletes, among them was Calum, who stated in the video that after such a phrase, Arnold was no longer an idol for him and sent the poster with him straight to the trash. There were those who supported von Moger, but there was much more criticism. There are a lot of messages in style, words and words, but don't forget who you rose to be like and who blessed you with star status at the time. But I think you remember the time when this story was quickly forgotten, and Calum apparently, based on the totality of all the events that happened to him, decided that it was time to change the scenery, and when the opportunity arose, he flew to Australia in 2021. There was no doubt about the footage from Australia. The parties were not without strong substances. A video with a parrot or a story with a downed kangaroo, then a lot of people did not understand this story. Most of the athlete's audience had a number of questions, one of which was, "How are you, Calum?" January 2022. Calum was stopped on the road due to the lack of license plates on the car. When examining the car, the police found, I will not surprise you, steroids and drugs. Calum subsequently admitted his guilt and was fined, but soon he was detained again. He got into an accident and threatened another driver with a machete in his hands. Von Moger was released from custody on bail. When you're a global star and a role model for many people you've motivated over the years, you're in much greater demand. Business was also bad, contracts were a thing of the past, training courses and so on were gathering negativity. The ring of problems was constantly narrowing. Well, actually, you can understand what von Moger was doing to extinguish the alarm. It should be noted that during all these years of, let's say, crisis, he repeatedly announced that he was returning to normal life and work, but later disappeared again into the abyss of life events. I mean, he has repeatedly undermined the trust of his subscribers, and each time his return to his former star status seemed less likely. The substance problems continued. They were found at his home when Calum fell out of a second-floor window in an inadequate condition on May 6, 2022. I cut myself all over with broken glass and injured my spine. After emergency spinal surgery, doctors put him in an artificial coma for several days. Over the years of von Moger's career, his audience has become so large that even after so many mistakes, there were still many people who wanted him to cope with addiction and return to a normal life. And Calum tried. January 23rd year, back in the United States, he posts a video titled, "Let Me Explain." In the description, von Moger leaves an appeal. Admittedly, the video turned out to be popular, garnering thousands of positive comments. Plus, Calum was wearing a bucked-up brand t-shirt, which he started collaborating with. The following video. Calum is already in the gym, and we can see that he has recovered and is already in good shape. It would seem that everything is going well, but when von Moger flew to the exhibition from Australia, a message came that his brother Edward von Moger was missing. Calum was beside himself with worry, waited for the search results, was at the booth only part of the time, and then apologized to everyone he refused to take pictures with. It turned out that his brother had committed suicide. After so many events in her life, von Moger had a lot to talk about on numerous podcasts. At the same time, he gained a really cool shape. At the same time, Calum also managed to travel. I've been to South Korea and shot a lot of content there, and in Thailand. And there in Southeast Asia, Calum decided to stay. A variety of videos with his participation and ambiguous dancing in nightclubs appeared on social networks, which raised a number of questions for many, and subscribers were once again divided in opinion. Such an unusual format does not go alone at all. Others write, the main thing is that he gets high himself, and how to live and what to publish is purely Calum's business. And again, according to the recent videos and photos posted by von Moger, we can see that he is still in good shape. But it is unclear at what stage in terms of career and life in general he is right now. Where to next? Time will tell. I hope I've clarified for you what happened to Calum von Moger. As you can see, the events in his life are over the edge. The question is whether he finally understood what exactly he wants from life, and where, as Master Shufu said, his inner peace is. I want to believe that he has finally found the peace and harmony of life he needs. As always, I will be grateful for your support. It helps in the development of the channel. Do not forget to click on the bell so as not to miss the new issue. Thanks for watching Sports Guru with you. See you later.